It looks as though Musk had a very productive trip here in China. After arriving in Beijing on Sunday, he met with Chinese leaders, and then soon after, Tesla flagged that the company had been approved by Beijing, at least in terms of its new data security regulations, saying that it is compliant. This is in terms of collection as well as data storage, and that Tesla is the only foreign invested firm listed as compliant.
And just like that, Tesla is up 40% in 6 days. So what happened in this video? I'm going to be doing an update to the video that I did here on April 1st, talking about why I thought Tesla was in a great generational investing opportunity, and why I thought in that video, as I mentioned, you should wait until Q1 deliveries are out as we get closer to earnings. And I bought a nice size dollar cost averaging position at 146. Hopefully you guys listen to the video, or you follow me on Twitter, or you're part of our Discord community. Either way, I hope you guys bought the dip too. Let's get right into it. Now, I want to address something at first before we get into the reasons that Tesla is having a rally and where I think Tesla is going to go in the short to mid-term. But it's clear that a lot of people still don't understand investing and don't understand the stock market. I was getting tons of questions and comments on my last video on Twitter about why I'm thinking about buying Tesla after an abysmal Q1 deliveries report and or an abysmal earnings report. Now, aside from the full technical analysis that I did last time on my last video, go back and watch it there, where I talk about Tesla bottoming out every Q1 for the last 4 years. In general, the stock market is a forward pricing tool, meaning yes, earnings do count, but if most of the information is priced in, and this is why Tesla, as well as other EV manufacturers, release deliveries before earnings, if most of the information is priced in, most of the bad information is priced in, if most of the price cuts and lowered margins are priced in, then what do you think is going to happen to the stock once they start bringing these AI features to the forefront? Now, if you don't believe that Tesla's at the forefront of AI driving, of full self-driving, that's fine. But if you're a long-term Tesla investor like me, and you believe that Tesla is at the forefront of these technologies that are literally going to be the future of driving, then after all of the bad news is digested and priced in, if Tesla is able to convince Wall Street that it is now focusing 100% on these AI driving mechanisms, the company is going to excuse lower margins. The company is going to excuse earnings. This is why a lot of times when you see companies that aren't profitable yet, people wonder, why is their stock price climbing? Is because the stock market is forward looking. It's not about what you did or what you can do today. It's about what kind of powerhouse will you be in the future in your niche. So let's get into the reasons that Tesla is now rallying in the short term, and then I will give you my analysis of where I think Tesla will go in the short to midterm. So Elon Musk makes a surprise visit to Beijing. Now, this is a very important geography and a very important milestone because China is seen as the most competitive landscape for Tesla. It is the arena that, China is the #1 EV manufacturer, and it is the arena where Tesla has the most competition. Tesla is by far, in a way, the best-selling EV in other geographies, especially in Western geographies. But in China specifically, there is a ton of competition from companies like BYD, from companies like XPEV, from companies like Huawei even. So this is seen as a very contentious market for Tesla. And on top of that, because of China's extra security layers, Tesla was not allowed to operate FSD in China. So Musk makes a surprise visit over there. I don't think this was announced on the earnings call at all. It was sort of just an impromptu visit. And this not only is great for the fact that, the Chinese Tesla market is now going to get FSD, it looks like, based on this preliminary announcement, but also because, there's been this narrative that Elon is not focused on Tesla 100%, but it seems like ever since Q1 deliveries and ever since the Q1 earnings call, it seems like Elon is going full force into the next iteration of AI-based driving features that Tesla is at the forefront of, right? So he makes a surprise visit to Beijing, and they announce that they are expecting China to lift most of the restrictions on FSD. So the first step will obviously be getting FSD into Teslas that are located in China, which opens up the door to a new wave of revenue, right? FSD in general, because they're going to be charging for it. But also, this is one step closer to licensing FSD. And if they can license FSD in China, because I doubt that China's FSD capabilities in the Chinese EVs are anywhere near as stellar as Tesla's is, or at least as far in terms of progress as Tesla's is. So this does open the door to a possibility for licensing FSD in China. But on the last earnings call, we also got an announcement that Tesla's in talks with one major automaker that's unannounced about licensing FSD. Again, if this happens, now this opens the door to widespread FSD licensing. For those of you that are old school and you remember what Microsoft used to do, Microsoft was basically licensing Windows to different PC manufacturers, right? This was a very different business model to Mac. So Tesla is taking the Microsoft approach with regards to its FSD, and it said that it's more than keen to license FSD to whatever automaker wants to use it. Next in line, we have Robotaxi. Elon Musk cryptically tweeted on April 5th that Robotaxi unveil on 8/8, and then during its earnings call, it shared this screenshot of what Robotaxi might look like. You could see here there's a summon button. It's sort of almost Uber-like, but a little bit more sleek. Now, the reason why Robotaxi is so compelling is because of the margins. We know that Tesla already has stellar profit margins on its cars, and I will touch on that a little bit, even though I went over in detail in my last video. But I'm going to touch on that a little bit and give a little bit of an update because it's relevant here. But SaaS-based models like Robotaxi can fetch upwards of 85% profit margin. On the earnings call, Musk explained that while Tesla will own and operate certain vehicles, others will belong to customers. As he explained, there will be a bunch of cars where they're owned by the end user, but that end user can add or subtract their car to the fleet whenever they want. So I don't know if this involves some sort of revenue sharing model as well, but if there's an incentive for users to add their Teslas to the Robotaxi fleet, that would also eliminate the need for Tesla to scale its own fleet that Musk said they're going to add to Robotaxi. In other words, they're not going to need to maintain a huge fleet if there's an incentive for Tesla owners to add their cars whenever they want. Now, another report came out this week where Elon Musk announced that Tesla is going to spend $10 billion towards AI. So what other car company is doing this? Even Elon himself said any company not spending at this level and doing so efficiently cannot compete. Like I said on my Twitter, again, follow me on Twitter and Instagram for free daily trading and finance content. I said Tesla is only a car company, right? Something that you always hear. But the future of driving is clearly changing, right? Like, we're not just going to have cars on the street. It's clear that not only are EVs the future of driving, I think that's already old news, but the true future of driving is actually in AI-driven capabilities, such as full self-driving or FSD. What other car company has spent billions on AI driving capabilities? And what other company has over a decade's worth of driving data like Tesla has, right? They're already starting on the back foot, not Tesla, but the other car company. And about those margins, what's super impressive, not only is not only are the margins that Tesla was able to generate when the economy wasn't dealing with such high rates like we are now, but the fact that as of April 2024, its operating margins are still 14.35%, which is one of the best in the car industry. Even a company like Toyota, which in my opinion, as I said before, is the #1 competitor for Tesla. It may not seem like it on its face, but go back and watch my video for why I believe from a market cap standpoint and a scaling capacity standpoint, why Toyota is the #1 competitor for Tesla. So if you look at Toyota's operating margin, it's at 9.87%. And the challenges that Tesla is facing now due to a high interest rate environment, and you're seeing its Q1 delivery slip, that is not unique to Tesla. You can see here Q1 across all vehicle manufacturers. Inventory on dealer lots growing towards pre-pandemic levels. Auto companies were forced to reduce prices. So if everyone is playing the same game, who is the best suited in that game, right? So the fact that Tesla can drop their margins and still somehow remain insanely profitable on their vehicles comparative to any competitor of theirs, if you are to invest in this industry, who are you going to go with? So this takes me to stock price. Let's talk about the stock price real quick. As I said, I expected Tesla to base around Q1 earnings because I've seen that happen historically time and time again. I've done a full-on analysis on why that is. However, right now we are riding the enthusiasm of all of the things that I described. The real show and prove moment is going to be in August, when I think the market and Wall Street are not going to accept just these empty promises that, let's be fair, Elon is known to have done before, right? We've been promised FSD and Robotaxi and stuff for years. We are now getting some tangible proof that those things are now a focal point once again for the company, but we still need more tangible proof that these things are actually in the pipeline and not just some really sexy ideas that the company's not going to be able to achieve in the midterm. So I do think that the price of Tesla can see a little bit more momentum here. Today, as of the time of this recording, it hit a high of almost 199, and 6 days ago it was at 138. Shout out to you guys that bought the dip. I do think that Tesla's momentum can continue a little bit towards Q2 2024 earnings, which are in July. And then we obviously have the Robotaxi event in August. Now, what we've seen in the past after Q1 earnings is we have seen major rallies up until the next earnings in Q2. But I'll be honest, most of the time, at least in the last 4 years, after Q1, you do tend to see a lot of sideways action as well. Now, if we take a look at the volume, you'll see that we are seeing much greater than average volume here, which means that there are a lot of FOMO buyers. And if they were watching this channel, they wouldn't be FOMOing right now. But there's quite a bit of FOMO buyers. And I do think that institutions will start positioning themselves in Tesla once again. And that will lead to a little bit more upside momentum, followed by, in my view, I think some sideways action until we get to Q2 earnings in July and then that Robotaxi event in August. Now, that Robotaxi event could be a sell the news event, especially if once again it proves to be just some crazy idea that Tesla has, but there isn't anything tangible to back it up. It will have to show some tangible features, some tangible updates, something that Wall Street can actually, finally trust that Tesla is really going to roll this out soon. And if that's the case, then I do think that Tesla will be back to all-time highs thereafter. I am going to continue doing videos on Tesla. You guys seem to love those. And it is one of the few companies that during this economic landscape and this investing landscape, I'm actually bullish on. Like I said, this is a stock picker's paradise. I was bullish on Google, I was bullish on Tesla, and I was bullish on the Bitcoin miners. There will be a monster play, in my opinion, on bonds, but I think we're a little bit far away from that. However, there aren't too many things that I'm bullish on here. So I do think that you will continue to be rewarded if you are a deliberate and smart stock picker. And if you want access to all of my trades, day trades included, link is in the description below. Come join the community, be a part of us. That way you can get my up-to-date analysis on things like the Bitcoin miners and Google and Tesla. Let me know your comments down below. Do you think that Tesla is going to go much higher from here? Do you think we will be back to all-time highs soon? Are you still a Tesla bear? I would love to hear from you. Leave it in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.